Hey there, welcome to this week's mentorship video. Today I want to talk about when we speak, how we can engage our audience and get them to take action with us if it's the right thing to do, if the next step is doing something more with you. Often when we find ourselves speaking, we come out, and now I want to also, let's preface this. If you're speaking on stage, if you're doing social media, like on a video, if you're doing a webinar, anything you're doing, and this can go for short or long. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a framework. So you'll probably want to take notes on this one, or you can watch back to this video. And what I'm about to tell you is how do you open and then how do you close, so that this way you can take advantage of this. And I'll go through these kind of quickly, but again, you can rewatch this video and you can take notes, and then you can definitely come onto Voxer and ask more questions so that you can implement this in for you specifically. So the first thing you want to do is you want to pique their interest right away. And instead of saying, "Hi, I'm Steve," what I do is I come out with the pain and the gain right away, just like an audio logo. And so you do a little bit of repeating here. I'll show you how. But the first thing that I do is I come out and say a pain. Like, you know, how many of you are working way too many hours right now? Like, just by to show of hands. Now, and if you're on a webcast, you say, "Are you?" So this is a very important thing right now. When you're speaking in front of an audience live in person, you can address the audience because everyone can see each other and they know there's a group. When you're online and you're doing a video or a webcast, then people feel like they're just talking to you. Like right now, I'm just talking to you, but I'm sending this video to everyone in the mentorship. So it's more than just you. However, I'm addressing it like I'm talking to you, right? So the best that I can. Sometimes I forget, but the best that I can. So that's a little thing. So when you're asking that question, you can say, "Are you working too much?" Or like in my past marketing talks, I would say, "How many of you are guessing in your marketing? Like you don't exactly know how to get the return on investment that you'd like to have." You know, and I'll ask like a pain question that I know that audience is having, and then I isolate that and I see by show of hands. So I'm also starting to engage the audience immediately by asking them to show their hands. And if they don't show their hands, then I say, "Hey, this is going to be interactive. I'm not going to just come up here and talk because it's not going to be as great of a benefit for you. And so this has to be a team event." And then I'll ask the question again, and I'll look to get compliance a little bit for them to engage with me. Then I ask a question that follows up. What if I were able to give you a system that you can put in place that could increase this consistently? How many of you would like that, right? And these are just example questions. You can put whatever you want in. Now I've started to engage the audience. Then I say, "Great, I'm in the right place," or "You're in the right place," I'll say. And that's when I say my audio logo. Say, "I'm Steve Napolitan, and typically I work with blah, 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 blah." After I put my audio logo, then I say my mission. Like, why am I here? Why am I compelled to speak in front of you? Why am I doing this? And then tell them my core purpose, why I'm here, and say, "This is my mission." And then at that point, I say, "Is it okay if I tell you a little bit more about myself and why I'm here and why I came to having this mission?" And then that's where I do my, what you call a turning point story, an epiphany story, something that changed for you, that got you on this path to be who you are. So just to run by, a pain question, a gain question, then your audio logo, then a little story about how you got to this point and how your life changed, and now you want to share that with the world or whoever the audience is, right? Then at that point, I make a commitment. I make a commitment to give everything I can to make whatever change I want in that moment in that room, and I make that commitment. And then I ask for a commitment from them. I say, "Is it okay if I ask you for something?" And then, you know, I try to get them to raise their hand. And so people say, "Oh, that depends." Someone will shout out from the audience, or you ask that one person on the webinar, "Are you committed?" And if you stay on this webinar right now, I'm supposing that you're committed. What I need is for you to commit to this talk, for you to take all the notes you can, for you to take action. And most importantly, I want you to pick one thing from whatever I teach today and you go take action with it. Because if you don't do that, then this is a loss. You might as well turn the video off now. You might as well stop listening to me now, leave the audio, leave here. I shouldn't take the time to spend to talk if you're not going to be able to take action with this. and I ask for that commitment, and I get them to, and depending on the energy of the audience, I'll ask them to raise their hand, or I'll give them the high five and say I'm committed, and they'll commit to each other, and this way and now I'm also raising the energy through all that, asking those questions, raising the energy of the room, raising the energy on the webcast, and this is giving you what you want to get them all motivated and get them set up and attuned to learn. And then once that commitment's done, then you're like, okay, let's get started. Now that's where your content comes in, right? So this is where you're going to deliver whatever teaching you're going to do. My biggest piece of advice here, so that's the intro, pain question, gain question, audio logo, epiphany story, leading to commitment that you're going to make and they're going to make, and then get into the content. That tees up amazing results because people are ready to learn. Now the content inside, my biggest encouragement is to do less. So many people want to teach so much. So depending on the amount of time you have, if you have like anything less than 30 minutes or less, or even 45 minutes or less, I teach one thing. And in my teaching, I have a rule that I do. I tell a story, then I teach the lesson, and then I do it like an exercise, right? And even right now, I just realized I broke my own rule because I didn't start with a story. But I can tell you this, I'm going to insert story now. I should edit it, but I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to get it out to you. You're already in this with me, so it's a little bit different. But when you're first getting in front of an audience, I would have told the story how, I used to speak and just share all of my gifts. And, I would have people say, great job, Steve, thank you so much. And they would leave like overwhelmed. They didn't have the format. They definitely weren't engaged enough. And they didn't take action with what I wanted them to take action with. And they definitely didn't take as much action with me to take the next step through my sales funnel, my client value journey. And so this impacted me in a way that now when I speak, people are engaged, they go take action in their life and get a result, and then they share it with us, and it's awesome to get that feedback. And two, they go and want to work with us more and want to work with me more. So it's really, really good. So again, tell a story. So that would be like an intro of a story, and that was kind of like a really rough one I just made up right now, but it's true. All those words are true, but I just did that off the cuff, and that's what I'll normally do. If someone wanted me to teach something, I would say, okay, well, where can I relate to that, and how did it make an impact in my life? And then the second thing is then teach the lesson like I'm doing now. Here's the framework, and then you want to go and have an exercise. And on a video like this, I can leave you with an action item and say, go try this out, go script this out, go practice this, and see where you're speaking. If you're just in front of a small group, if you're in front of a webinar, if you're doing this on social media, if you're doing like a Facebook Live, if you are any one of those things, that makes a difference. So now once you do that, tell a story, teach the lesson, give an exercise, or give them an action item. Then to close it out, then I always ask people, hey, did you get value from this? Raise a hand. I'm so glad that you got value from this. How many of you would like to know how I could help you more? How many of you want to know if I could help you more? And then if they raise their hand. Now, if I'm speaking in an audience, if they don't raise their hand, and that's never happened to me, but if they didn't raise their hand, then I would say thank you so much, and I would walk off the stage. I love you all. If a few people raise their hand, then I ask them to meet me in the hall, which has also never happened for me. But if more than that raise their hand, then I usually make an offer, and I make them the offer for what the next step is. So whatever it is, if it's more business, more life, if it's even if it's giving them a free gift, sometimes I'll give them my lead magnet or my tripwire, whatever the next step is. You give them that offer, and then you tell them. Then after that, then I say this isn't for everyone, but I always say three things. If you want more or change in your life, maybe it's for you. If you're willing to take action, maybe it's for you. And you have to be coachable because you have to take new ideas into your business or your life and make a difference. So I do those three things. You want change or more in your life? Are you willing to take action? Are you coachable? And I say with that, if any of you are feeling compelled to work with me, then take action now. I usually have like an action now discount or bonuses. I'll bonus in more courses or give more gifts, because we all think of it where you are in your life. There's times when we know we want to do something, but we're not quite sure. And when you have those extra incentives, it pushes you into that next step. And when you do that, then you take action in your life. You get past the fear. what those things are for me is getting people over their hump for their fear, because they really probably want it. And those that don't want it, they're not going to sign up. And I tell them that if this isn't for you, that's okay. I love you the same. I truly do. And I hope that you learn from today. And with that, then I walk off the stage, but I say, hey, I'm going to hang out if anybody has questions, and then I serve them. But making that offer extends the next thing. When I used to not do that, or I said, just get in touch with me, I remember speaking in front of 500 people, and like 1 or 2 people would move to the next step with me. When I make an offer in front of less than 200 people, like I was at a speaking engagement, I had like 180 people there, and we had over 50 people enroll into More Business, More Life. So this that making that offer helps people move to the next step. And I know in my heart that's what I'm meant to do. So you have to look to close this all off. What is your intention and where is your attention? So the whole time I'm speaking, my intention is to help everyone I can, and my attention is on them. How can I make this the best? And this is the format that I found to be the best. So there's your opening, there's your closing, and then in the middle you do your lessons. And if you have an hour and a half, maybe you can teach 3 lessons. Even when I have an hour and a half, I try to only do 2, and I go really deep and do exercises in the room so that people can really feel what it feels like to have and do whatever you're teaching. So I hope this has been helpful. I know this might bring up more questions or get you thinking about when you're speaking in front of a group, what you should do and what the framework of that is. And there's little nuances to this, but this is the basic step of what you want to do. So I hope this has been helpful. As always, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom. I'll see you on Voxer.